Welcome to the Inc. Productivity Tip of the Day. Today's tip: 5 things leaders must know to shift from chronic stress to total joy. An expert opinion by Marcel Schwantes. If stress is stealing your joy, you're not alone. Many high performers spend years moving at a relentless pace, working hard, pushing fast, and promising themselves they'll slow down once the next big thing is over. But as soon as one deadline ends, another begins. This pattern often gets framed as a personality trait: thinking fast, talking fast, working even faster. Deadlines are met. Expectations are high. The on-time, every-time mindset is celebrated at work, while quietly creating strain, exhaustion, and conflict outside of it. Amy Lenaker, speaker, leadership consultant, and author of the forthcoming book, Cheers to Monday: The Surprisingly Simple Method to Lead and Live with Less Stress and More Joy, has been there, done that, and literally wrote the book on why this way of work isn't working. She said, "As my leadership responsibilities grew, so did my anxiety. I had finally earned the job I had dreamed about for years. So why did I feel overwhelmed, exhausted, and anything but joyful?" That question sparked my deep dive into the research on stress and joy, and what I discovered changed everything. Lenaker spent years studying why work isn't working. In addition to her own leadership experience, she led a national research study on stress and joy in the workplace, and conducted extensive interviews and focus groups with leaders, teams, and employees across industries. Burnout is at a 10-year high, according to Glassdoor. But here's the good news: we are not powerless. Lenaker presents 5 things leaders need to know about the myth that stress is simply part of the job, and offers practical suggestions on how to create a workplace where joy is built into the culture. 1. Chronic stress steals your joy and your clarity. Stress doesn't just change your mood, it changes your brain. When we're in survival mode, our nervous system isn't interested in connection or creativity. It's interested in getting through the moment as quickly as possible. A study published in the journal Biological Reviews found that the body's acute stress system, designed for our ancestors to outrun lions, is now firing constantly, even when the lion is just your inbox. Study co-author and evolutionary anthropologist Daniel Longman explains, "As a result, you have a very powerful response from your nervous system, but no recovery. This is why everything feels harder when you're stressed. Your world narrows, your patience shrinks, and your joy fades." Lenaker's advice: build tiny recovery moments into your day. Small resets like 3 minutes of breathing, a walk around the block, or simply sitting in silence between meetings can create space for clarity. 2. Stress is contagious, especially when you're the leader. A single person's stress can have a cascading effect, transferring to colleagues. If you're a leader, you don't have to say a word for your team to catch your stress like a nasty cold. When you walk into a meeting, their nervous systems pick up the signal instantly. Stress spreads quickly, and leaders are often super spreaders. When your stress becomes the team's stress, collaboration drops. Tension rises, and everyone feels like they're bracing for impact. Lenaker's advice: before you step into a room or a Zoom, pause for 10 seconds. Drop your shoulders, slow your breathing. This tiny reset tells your team, we're safe, we've got this. 3. Stress creates a joy gap, and leaders need to close it. In 2021, management consulting firm Kearney found that 61% of workers feel far less joy at work than they expected. That gap between the joy people want to feel and the joy they actually experience grows when stress becomes a badge of honor instead of a warning sign. Dubbed the joy gap, it doesn't just make work less fun, it impacts performance, engagement, and retention. Lenaker's advice: at the start of a meeting, ask a simple question. What's one small thing bringing you joy this week? It takes 20 seconds and can shift the entire tone of the room. 4. Joy is a leadership strategy, not a luxury. Joy isn't a reward for surviving burnout. It's a resource for preventing it. Joy is what helps you get through the hard stuff with more resilience, creativity, and humanity. Joy activates the same emotional pathways that make stress ripple through groups, but with a very different effect. As joy spreads, it triggers oxytocin and dopamine, chemicals that strengthen trust, connection, and collaboration. When leaders intentionally model joy, they give everyone else permission to access it as well. Lineker's advice? Celebrate small wins. Name what's working, share a laugh. These moments are the foundation of your team. And even small moments of connection can spark measurable shifts. 5. A joyful rebellion takes a village. Lineker says that stress takes a serious toll on both people and performing. That's why reducing stress isn't just a wellness strategy, it's a joy strategy. When we're no longer in survival mode, we start to see things differently. We notice small moments of good. We reconnect with what matters. We stop rushing past our own lives. Lineker's advice? Empower your team to pay attention to the early signs of stress like missed deadlines, low energy, irritability, or silence in meetings. Normalize sharing what you're noticing and checking in with one another. When everyone is tuned in, you can spot stress early and support each other before it spirals. A joyful rebellion starts when leaders decide to stop normalizing chronic stress and start choosing practices that restore energy, not drain it. With burnout at historic highs, it's time to replace the myth of the stressed out leader with a new vision, one where joy is part of the job description. That's it from Inc. For more expert opinions from today's top business coaches and thought leaders, go to Inc.com and be sure to come back tomorrow for another tip from Inc.